on the other side of the aisle will do things that are bad and that hurt people and that you condemn. But there comes a time when a line is crossed, and when governments turn so violent that they will kill people to achieve their political ends, that line has been crossed, and this government has crossed the line. This government, with the full support of Labor Party, has taken over 600 people who have been found to be genuine refugees and put them in a hellhole where they've been denied food and water and where they have had their medicine taken away from them. These people have committed no crime other than to do what every single one of us would do if we thought our lives or our families' lives were at risk. They have come to somewhere seeking peace, seeking to live a full life without fear, and instead what have we done? We have taken them and we have thrown them in prison. Our government is breaking lives, and these people on Manus now live with the smell of death about them every day. There are bodies strewn around, there are people who are going without their medication, there are people who are very, very, very close to taking the step to ending their own life, as many have tried to do before. And all of this is happening on our watch. And when the United Nations says to a wealthy country that calls itself a democracy like Australia, you aren't helping refugees, which is what we're used to seeing governments doing, but you are actively making their situation worse, and you have to turn them around, and you have to turn that around. That should be a wake-up call to this government, that we are now being shamed in the eyes of the world because we are taking people who need our help, and instead of holding an open hand, we are hitting them with a closed fist, and we are killing them. And enough is enough. We will stand up to you and say, you are not doing this in our name, and you are not doing this for us. What is happening in between Canberra and Manus has ceased to be government and has become terror. If the definition of terror is to use violence and threaten people's lives for political purposes, then Peter Dutton is a terrorist. To look at the face of Peter Dutton is to stare into the cold eyes of someone who is prepared to kill people for political gain. And it is time that he was held to account for this crime against humanity. And Labor, you reopen these camps and you put these people there, and Labor, it is no longer enough to say that you would manage these death camps more efficiently. It is time for you to join with the Greens, with others in Parliament, with every decent person in the community and say, bring them here now. And yesterday another minister was caught up in the citizenship scandal, and he said, well, people shouldn't be punished because they came here fleeing persecution. Well, what damn hypocrite, Minister? What a damn hypocrite you and the Prime Minister are when you say people shouldn't be punished because they came here seeking persecution. Have a look at what you are doing on Manus. Have a look at what you are doing to people who have done nothing more than to stand up for dignity and peace and freedom. Because this isn't just about what is happening to these people whose lives we now hold in our hands and the government holds in its hands. This is about us. This is about what it means to be a community. This is about what it means to be a society that calls itself a democracy. This is about what it means to be human. Because we are all connected. And when we see someone in trouble, our instinct is to help them. And they say, well, we can't allow people to come here because then that would restart the boats. Well, if you're really worried about people dying at sea, then do what we did 40 years ago and whack them on a plane and bring them here. Or when their boat gets in trouble, you go and rescue them. 40 years ago, when there was conflict on our doorstep, we said we will work with the countries in the region to make sure that there is a queue, that if people wait there, they will be brought here. And that, if you want to stop the boats, the best way to stop the boats is to bring people here, to increase the number of people that we say that we will take as our fair share of the world's burden. Because if we did 40 years ago what we're doing now, we would not have the Vietnamese community here. If we did 50, 60 years ago, we would not have the Italian or Greek community here. And every one of us, I reckon, would say Australia is a better place because at one point in our history we showed an open heart, and it is time to do it again. It is time to do it again. So I want to say thank you on behalf of all of us, on behalf of Senator Nick McKim, who has been over there this week talking with these people who are standing up and showing defiance and putting this government to shame. I want to say thank you because they are listening to every word that we say. And they will now know from the strength of all of you who have come out here that the compassionate heart that beats in this country wants to bring them here. Thank you.